Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Bowl podcast, episode number 42. And, we're back in the studio. Familiar faces as usual, but another familiar face here in the corner. A return guest with us today, Mr. Dustin Crenshaw. Welcome back to the pod. Thanks for joining us once again.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Second ever return guest? I
Maybe.
believe so.
Doesn't count,
Maybe third. Gabe, Monty.
Yep.
Gabe and Monty, that's right. You're number 3.
It's elite company right there.
That is elite.
Podium.
Elite.
Podium.
Well, Dustin came on about a year ago. A lot in his life has changed. A lot of crazy moments that we're excited to talk about with you. And just we've seen the growth in just that year. So super excited to chop it up with you for this next hour. But as always, we got to start with a fun sports segment. And today we're doing Guess Who? And
Right.
the rules here are we've got the men on this side of the table against the men on this side of the table. We both have an athlete, and it just needs to be an athlete that we all know at this table. And then from there, we just ask yes or no questions back and forth until we can figure out who that player is. So, any comments before we get going
This
here?
is going to be fun.
Going to 3?
Interesting wording of the athlete.
Let's have some fair play here. I
I just
don't
want
put it past you to pull out a completely random athlete, super niche, and
That's
make us
fine.
be guessing for hours.
All I would say is that our athletes are gettable. They're very
Yeah.
gettable.
All right.
We did.
I would second that.
I hope so.
I agree.
You've had some crazy takes, so.
All right, so let's let you guys start with the first guess. Again, asking us yes or no questions.
Okay. You want to start us off?
Sure.
Hey, before we go for this, let's go sport. Let's go sport.
Sport?
Yeah. Or no,
Isn't that the literal point
Yeah.
of the? Okay, this might be just a absolute waste of a question, or this could get really fun.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, Braden, specifically.
Okay.
Is your player play a sport that you would define as a sport?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
I just
All right.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
Thank
question.
you, David, for wasting one.
no
Is
no
this-
NASCAR in his mind.
You guys
Okay.
can both answer this.
Good enough.
I don't
Alright.
like to pinpoint on
Not this athlete.
team player. Is this athlete a ball sport athlete?
It's a good question.
Yes.
I would agree, and I'm
Of course.
Agree, yes or no? That's
Yes.
it.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, he is. All right.
He is. Wow.
Yes.
They just said he.
Is
They
it-
gave us something right there.
Is this player in the NFL?
No.
No.
That's right.
All right, so we know it's a he. That's a good start.
Okay.
And write down that he plays a sport.
Here's what I'm gonna ask. I got the next question. Ready? Is this athlete in the big 3 sports: football, basketball, baseball?
Can confirm.
Yes, he is.
Can confirm.
I got the next one.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna copy that exact same question. Big 3.
No.
No.
All right.
Whoa.
Okay, next question. Is this a professional athlete?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Didn't know if we were doing
Yeah,
college.
fair.
athletes.
That's
Very
fair. That's fair.
professional.
I love how we
I
didn't
thought we
really
could do
define
college
the
athletes
rules
too,
very
right?
well. So this is.
I never.
That was a good question, right?
Yeah, it was a great question.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I told you this might take a minute.
All right, David. You got this one?
did you already ask one?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Not the big 3. Okay. Is he a swimmer?
No.
Terrible.
All
right, let's pinpoint.
Is your player a basketball player?
No.
Okay.
I feel like we're getting killed right now, Dustin. We gotta
Sure are.
we gotta
It's
heat it
all
up
right.
here
Keep
a little
going.
bit.
Is he a golfer?
No.
No.
Is it a football player?
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Here we go, Dorn. We're
Now
cooking.
we're talking. Now we're talking.
NFL football player.
What other sports are?
See, I'm starting to.
Okay.
Is the big 3 part of soccer? Is soccer
Cool.
No.
We're on the
Big
same
3.
wavelengths right now.
Soccer's
MLB
not
wasn't
big
it?
3, correct?
Yeah, it wasn't MLB.
You can ask.
So.
Is that your question?
Nope,
No.
nope, nope,
Next
nope.
question.
I'm gonna let you ask that one. I got a different one.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
But that was my next one.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's a soccer player, you guys are in trouble. Was it a soccer player?
No.
Okay.
Is this a AFC player?
No.
Are you sure you know all the AFC and NFC?
Okay,
teams?
this is getting this is getting bad here.
David, can you verify? It's not an AFC player?
Correct. It's not an
I
NFC
was going
player.
to ask if it was current, or I'm not going to ask that now because I think if it's purely an NFC player just on one team, it's probably a current player.
I agree.
Okay, that's good.
Dustin.
And that
I mean, look at this
response.
list.
Dude,
I mean,
this is rough. This is rough to say the least.
we are like,
Is this player a female?
No.
we just eliminated half the population though, so that's a big
All right,
guess.
all right.
Is this athlete in the NFC East?
No,
Okay.
No,
I
he's
like it.
not.
We got
Dude, they're
3 more
they're
questions.
gonna get it.
I mean like, let's see. Is your player a hockey player?
No.
Oof.
NFC
Great guess.
South.
Great guess.
No.
Not NFC South.
I feel like NFC West is
I'm
probably.
guessing it's the NFC
Yeah,
West.
that's the
I
only
mean
one left.
like,
Congrats.
Actually, it's not. There's 2, so thank you. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
well,
We didn't say North, so thank you, Dustin.
Let's just assume it's in the West right now. More than
Yeah.
likely.
hey, what team you
I
on,
say
bro?
just pick a team now. I got
Okay.
a question. I got a question.
Okay, was MLB a part of the big three? Did we just not guess MLB, or was that?
MLB is big 3.
Okay,
right?
so then it's
No.
then
Is that your question?
I'm talking. I ain't even. It's not even my question, bro. It's his question.
Okay.
I'm just.
We're working as a
clarifying.
team. We're not even keeping track.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
Is this a ball sport?
No.
No.
Unbelievable.
No, it's not.
Wow, This is
No.
odd.
See, now that's a better question. Good job.
Yeah.
Is
this
this
is cute.
athlete?
You guys, unbelievable.
Is this athlete on the offensive side of the football?
He has played some offense before.
He's primarily on the offensive.
Thank you, sir.
He's primarily.
I don't think he's ever played a defense.
Thank you
Oh,
for
dude, he's
honesty
trying to throw him for
and
a loop.
integrity.
Yeah, he's never played a defensive
David.
snap, I believe. But
Look, I mean, the answer is yes. He's played offense.
All right, what you got? You guys are getting close.
I mean, okay, so it's not a ball sport. That just blows my mind
Yeah, that's
because
wild,
now
buddy.
it's like, I mean,
track.
gotta be track.
No.
No.
So do you want to pinpoint the team now, and then
Yeah, give us
offensive,
we get one hint.
or maybe we could ask
Look at this.
position.
Give us one.
I mean,
I think if we get the position, that might narrow it down even more. You know?
Yeah,
we
let's
have
do position.
X'd
Wide receiver?
everybody.
I'm thinking they did pick the wide
You
receiver.
want? Is it a wide receiver?
No.
Define a wide receiver. I'm just kidding.
All right.
No, it's not a wide
Smart
receiver.
guy. Getting clobbered right now.
Oh man,
If I had to guess right now, I think I know who it is.
I think I know who it is too.
What do you think?
If you guess, go back to 0.
yeah. If you guess, you lose.
Oh, I didn't think that.
If
No.
you guess, you lose.
Okay.
I'll just make that a thing.
All
If you
right,
guess, if you get it wrong, you
um,
lose.
Not track.
So,
dude, what's
like, it's got to be like the most obvious guy ever. If it's just not
Can
in the right
we-
sport.
Can we
like
use
we
up our hint or what?
Oh,
is there
no.
is there even hints? Is that
I
a
didn't
thing?
think we were doing hints.
All right,
You
all right,
have
Dustin.
questions
All right,
as
Dustin. We
hints.
just got to think. We just got to be thinking. There's
Professional-
got to be something.
So are you saying you
Professional
haven't been
crossbow?
thinking up to
no,
this point?
I've just like got to lock in now because it's not. I mean, like, are we talking archery? Are we talking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not archery. Ain't no way it's archery.
This is an impossible.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
feel
okay,
like-
okay. It's not swimming. Yeah, it's probably not diving. Then you can't count diving. I mean, it's ball and not a ball
Time out.
sport.
Time out.
Go ahead, because I got
Is
nothing.
he an X Games athlete?
No,
That's a good question.
that is good because
question.
you would have it. The thing is, once you hit the sport, you're gonna get
You're in a
it.
good way. You're in a good way.
We have to work a lot more for this.
Is
there red?
bowling a ball sport?
Is there red in your logo or red in your main colors?
In the
Man.
athlete's main colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you consider burgundy red, yes.
Down to 2.
Down to 2 teams. Not a wide receiver.
Cardinals or the Niners.
This
on
is
the
a
offensive side.
yeah.
massacre.
Offensive side
folks.
of ball.
If you're watching this in a clip right now, just
Hey.
help
Apologies.
me. Help me out. 'Cause
Apologies,
we
everyone.
cannot-
Gotta be, right? It's got to be.
It could
Like-
be.
Apologies,
That's who
everyone.
you said, yeah.
Like we are, man.
No.
struggling.
But I
But-
think.
Yeah. It probably is, but I
probably
think we
is.
keep asking until
Okay.
we need to.
Right. We're on
we're
it.
almost to the point where we got to start guessing.
Yeah, so
players.
that
Like,
tells me we're on it.
so like, because I mean they're down to 2 teams. I mean this is not ideal, and we're down to not even a league.
What could it be?
I mean, like you're not gonna do F1, probably, but that would eat me alive if it is an F1 driver.
This is tricky.
You know, this first question, the first question he
So-
asked might be the biggest question he's asked.
Yeah. Right.
Do you have anything better than F1 for me not to ask F1 here?
NASCAR.
Like they said no on NASCAR because it's not a sport. And
Oh, they
Braden's,
did?
I asked Braden specifically, and
That's crazy. I mean, that's
Hey,
you can
and
assume
he-
that.
yeah. So
I just told you it's a sport. I never said anything
This
about
is
it not
rough.
being NASCAR.
all right, is it a motor sport?
No.
Unbelievable. So it's not IndyCar, not F1.
Should we just get the position down?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is it a QB? Yes, it is.
Technically.
So we're down to 2.
He's thrown some passes in his day. He's
Okay.
thrown a few passes.
And then we ask.
He's
okay,
thrown the ball a little bit.
This is unbelievable. I mean, like, okay, is this like the best bowler in the world or something?
We got to throw him.
yeah.
Do you like that guy?
Jason Belmontine. No.
Is that your guess?
No, it's not.
Who do you think you are?
I mean, we almost
That
have
guy.
We just have to like.
You guys are going to
almost
be
have
upset
guess.
when we say it.
Yeah, you're gonna be really
Yeah,
upset.
very upset.
Oh, give me a second.
Time
Let's
out.
see. This
Wait,
is
wait,
the
wait,
pressure's.
wait.
Go ahead. Come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
You guys have drained.
I mean, like surfing. I'm going deep into the well. Are we going like ultimate frisbee?
Harper, you know what we should have done?
I say just throwing out there. And
I
what
mean,
else
like,
is- think of legendary. sports.
I know, like, I just can't even, like,
You
I
can
can't
just hurry it up,
believe how much
'cause
The
they've
people
sucked.
watching right now are like, how have they not guessed this?
I know,
No
I
worries,
know,
no
I know, I
worries,
know,
no
I know,
worries.
I know, and that's what makes it so frustrating. Oh man, what sport have we not guessed? I mean, I don't know. Nothing's.
Could I take the guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
LeBron James.
No.
Imagine
Well,
it's like, oh,
We already
yeah.
told you it's not a ball sport.
Was there that one guy that did the triple backflip? Travis Pastrana?
Hey,
Is Pastrana it?
So they just got like two
I'll say no again.
two
Yeah.
questions.
So do we get 2 guesses?
So
Here, you guess.
is this a 49ers player?
Yes.
He suits up in San
All right.
Technically,
Francisco.
he does.
Second question.
does.
Dustin, do you have ties to this player?
Potentially.
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 All right.
We have cross paths.
So you guys
once.
got
So it is.
you gotta
I mean,
heave one.
The score is literally like 90-0 if we're playing basketball right now. So if we can make this comeback, I mean, this would be the greatest.
Well,
thing
we
I've
know
ever
who
seen.
it is.
I understand. So we got to guess.
All right.
Is what that means.
We'll give them each one guess.
I'm cooked.
Each
I mean,
one athlete.
Dude, I literally don't even.
I
One
mean,
athlete
I don't
each.
even
It's
think
tennis.
either of them
it's
have a guess.
tennis. No,
I-
it's
I
not
don't. I really
tennis.
don't.
It's not a ball sport. It's not a ball sport.
One
It's not
athlete
tennis.
each. We'll give you that.
Unbelievable. Not tennis either.
I don't have one.
Horse racing. Don't know any.
American Pharaoh. Is it American Pharaoh?
It's not.
Secretary?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Not that one
I
either.
love that. The Kentucky
That's all I
Derby.
got. That's literally all I got.
All right, I think
Derby.
it's best for all parties that we move along here
Yeah.
All right.
with our guess.
All right, who was the athlete?
You want to go?
Brock Purdy.
Wow. What an
Technically-
unbelievable guess.
Technically correct, barely.
I mean, he almost guessed.
Y'all
who's
just
the
got
backup for the
wiped.
49ers.
Help
You ready,
barely.
Should we
you
tell
ready
him
for
who?
ours?
Yeah,
All right,
who's your
yeah,
player?
Here it is.
You tell him.
UFC fighter John Jones.
Oh,
Okay.
Like,
I understand.
Arguably the biggest
UFC.
athlete in that sport. You guys
Okay.
just didn't make your way to that category
Okay.
of sports.
I don't feel as
wow.
bad about that.
Okay,
But I know you know,
that's a
UFC.
brain fart. Yep, I do enjoy UFC.
and you didn't even touch combat sports.
That's a brain fart. Bad. Dang it.
What do?
All
Are we
right.
going
can we
best
do-
of 3?
Congrats to you guys.
Or-
Yeah, I mean, I think you
We'll
guys need to get some guesses.
I
out
mean,
there.
we have to get a correct answer. Like, we have not gotten a correct answer today.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
We're 0 for 10, I believe, if I'm counting this
All right.
right.
Can we get the sport to start or?
No.
Well, let's do this right
This
now,
is a
Dustin.
clean slate.
We're gonna go a little more rapid fire with this round too, but
All right.
This is a
Do
clean
you guys
slate.
go first or us?
we'll start here.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, is it a ball sport athlete?
You guys
Wow,
know? Do you
it
guys know
sure
who your
is.
person is?
Yep.
Okay.
It sure is a ball sport athlete. I'm just going to
We could
copy
win
your
this one.
question.
We could win this.
Ball
one.
sport athlete.
Yes.
All right, great.
Is it a big 3 sport athlete?
Yep.
Feeling good.
Copy that.
Same to y'all.
It
It's a
is.
big 3. All right,
Okay.
there we go.
You go.
Is your athlete in the NBA?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I like that. Yeah, I was gonna guess.
MLB.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Punch for punch.
Is your athlete current?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, Dustin, I'm going to lean on you here. MLB.
Okay.
Go Cook.
Is he a hitter?
He is.
He's a hitter. All right, sweet. Nice.
Is this player in the West?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is in the West.
Okay. This is a much better round here.
Yeah,
This is competitive.
Actually
It's
competitive.
competitive.
This is a good ball.
I don't really watch the NBA anymore, so it's
So
trouble.
can we go by conferences or something? Like, what would be the best way to narrow down? Do you think it would be good?
We'll go. Are you guys familiar with the baseball divisions? and
Oh
whatnot?
yeah.
He's got him.
He's your guy.
Is this an American League player?
He has played in the American League.
Is he currently
I feel like you should
like?
be
Because
more
is he currently in the American League? I got to rephrase my.
Yeah, you need to define that, I think.
He's not currently in a league.
Oh, so he's retired? Question mark.
Oh, I think I know it. Wait a minute. No, never mind. I was thinking Trevor Bauer. Would that have been
Ooh.
crazy?
What a great guess.
That would have been.
All right.
But
I
he's
feel like I answered plenty for you right there.
Okay. Thank
okay.
you. Appreciate
that-
it.
That low key
Appreciate
would have
it,
been
appreciate
nuts,
it,
but
appreciate
I
it.
don't think that's it. I don't think
Is your player, does he play in California?
no.
Great question.
No, he
I
doesn't.
like it. It's like 3-4 teams, right?
What about it?
Is he a retired player?
He is.
Nice.
Is your player a guard?
Yep.
What you got? Retired baseball hitters.
I mean, I don't have like, dude, just carry this. Trust me. If
No,
we
no,
want to
you-
win
no,
this,
no, you got this. You got
if we
this.
want to win this game,
Lob.
like you need to take over.
Let's go left or right-handed hitter.
Or
You can ask
just
me
say,
a
is
yes
he
or no question.
is he a left-handed hitter?
Yeah. Yeah, but
Is he a left-handed hitter?
No.
Got righty.
left or right-handed? Yes or no?
Has this player won an NBA title?
Nope.
No.
Mm.
I think I already know who it is.
Not yet.
No.
I have a good
title.
idea, too. Yeah.
All right. Who's in the American? Like, can we start? Let's think colors of teams that he played. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what would be a good
Right-handed hitter. Interesting.
right-handed hitter?
Yeah,
Like, let's think colors. So, like, what's a team
Exactly who I thought
that
of.
we can kind of like?
Say,
I'd
lob
be
that one
fine.
out there.
I'd be comfortable guessing that
Ask,
right now.
We can
color blue.
verify
Is it-
one.
is it
Blue?
color-
Like-
one of his
Yeah.
team colors.
Blue in the logo.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's kind of fun.
Is blue in the team's logo that he played for?
Again, he's played for
Many teams.
multiple teams.
Probably
So, yeah, make them ask a better
So ask a better question.
question.
Has he played for a blue-colored team?
Sure. I like it. Has he played for a blue-colored team?
We're on the fence here. We gotta
I will say I believe he has, and I'll confirm, but he's not known for
All right.
his blue collar team.
appreciate that.
All right. I got a good.
Did
question
this
for
player play in the SEC in college?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Do you want to verify?
Or do you want us to ask another question?
You want to ask another question?
You guys can go no.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
another
going to
question.
help, to be honest.
That's not going to help. So it's not a big name guy. Okay.
No. He is. Don't worry.
Dustin quiet. I'm just kidding.
All right. Has your player played in the Olympics?
Good question. Great question.
No, he has not. Wait. Yes, he has. I'm so sorry.
I was like,
Bad question.
yeah,
Bad
yeah.
answer.
Our guy's still there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did your player retire in the last 5 years?
Yes.
I feel like that was okay.
Great job.
That was good.
Great job.
I feel like David would have known the answer to our guy. Actually, I know he knows the answer.
I think he's trying to throw us off.
But I asked him the question he has to answer.
Which one?
The SEC one. If he played in SEC in college.
Oh.
And I think he knew that.
If David,
if we're going off that play.
I mean, let's just say if you know it.
Yeah, I don't have 100% confidence that I know it. I have a
Likewise.
guess, but I don't know.
Okay.
For
And I would trust you. You would say
Yeah.
it if you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that leads me away from that player.
I agree.
Which was a question. I'm just kidding. I was
That is not a question. Nothing about that was phrased as a question.
No, I'm just kidding.
Is your player white?
No, sir.
Honestly, there you go.
He went there.
Okay. So last 5 years, Dustin. This is where it's got to be you, dog. Like it's got to be you.
Okay.
Who's retired in the last 5 years? Played in the American League.
Will he be in the Hall of Fame?
Got to be
Yes.
right. All right.
Yes. Okay.
We can ask that question.
That's kind of a crazy
I
question.
think it's a good
It's like
question.
That's
Will this
low-
player be in the Hall
like-
of Fame?
I don't know.
Too early to know?
Yeah. Maybe.
Thank you. You answered 2 for us right there.
I now have a
good.
different person in mind.
I like that
Throw him
answer.
off,
I like
throw
that
him
answer. I like that answer.
Wait. Olympics. We need to go back to Olympics. That's
Yeah,
important.
yeah. That's we can utilize resources, right?
I think we start guessing teams.
Yeah. Okay. I'm cool with it.
All right. So last.
I'll do that. You guys want to go teams? Back and forth? I just need to get this team down.
Okay. Who's retired recently? Like, do you know of just any big names who have retired recently?
Honestly, no. I have a top worst memory out of probably everyone I know. So this one hurts. These games hurt for me.
Is that
Okay.
a question?
No, it's
That
not.
is that
All
was
right, my
that was
official
a-
my official question.
All right, go ahead.
Is this player on the San Francisco Giants, or did this player play on the San Francisco Giants?
He did not.
You want me to start? Teams?
Yeah, go for it.
Is he on the Phoenix Suns?
No, sir.
I got the next team.
Yeah. Let's just keep going.
Go for it.
Dude,
I'm just not the best at this game.
trying to think.
Oh. Ooh.
I've got 2 teams in mind.
Ooh. Okay.
Did this player retire in the last 2 years?
Nice question.
I would like to say yes, but I don't know for sure.
All right, so right around that
Probably 2-3
time,
years.
probably. All right.
Shoot.
All right.
Is this player on the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Oh boy. Well, you guys might
Nice.
want to start guessing.
We might have just lost.
It's gotta
Nice.
look. It's
All right.
it's gotta be you here, dog. Like
What a
I
snipe.
don't
Here we
think
go.
I like have that. I probably know the name, but I wouldn't put the pieces together here. I don't
Okay,
think.
right-handed
nice,
hitter. Man, this is rough. Is it Derek Jeter?
Wait, is that
It's
crazy?
not.
Okay. Did he retire in the last 2 years?
He's probably more like 5 years.
Okay, I thought he was
5 or
like.
6.
I
Maybe
thought
might
he
be a little
retired.
longer than that,
I thought he
honestly.
retired
6 to
like
8
10 years
years.
ago.
Yeah, he looked.
I don't know,
Yeah, he probably did actually.
but either way,
Yes.
that's all right.
You want to guess or me?
I don't know the full name.
He's your
But I
player.
know who this is.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I knew the acronym. I didn't know the name.
Shay's
SGA?
gorgeous
Yeah,
Alexander.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh
Hey.
man, what a mess! What a
Great
mess.
game. both
Our
you guys.
player is Albert Pujols.
Man. Dude.
Yeah, that would have been tough. That would have been tough.
Hey,
I mean, like I knew the name, but
good try.
Y'all got mopped.
yeah.
Hey,
Was
you
he
just-
was
you
he
had
a
bad-
Dodger? Was Albert Pujols ever a Dodger?
For like literally this long.
That's what I thought. I was
Yeah,
like, I feel like
but
I can
that's-
picture him,
that's
but
a
he's
good answer.
not known for being in blue.
Yeah.
Red, obviously, with Cardinals and
Good.
the Angels.
Good answers out of you guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
You
mean,
just had a bad teammate. That's all.
no. I mean, it
Just
was.
had a bad
You
teammate.
had one too.
It wasn't the greatest. Baseball and UFC are not my strong suits, but I probably have heard of the names. But
But
it
we
would've been a
chose literally the
stretch.
biggest UFC fighter.
Yeah, those are-
arguably
Yeah.
the biggest.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are my strong
yeah.
suits.
Yeah.
Those are my
I
strong
mean,
suits.
Yeah. So.
yeah. I had heard of John Jones, but I don't even know if you would have said UFC, I would have been like John Jones. Like,
Right.
I would have been like,
Well,
you know.
we figured you guys would get to UFC at some point.
Yeah,
Like,
and that would have been
I wasn't
huge.
gonna say
Yeah.
McGregor.
Oh,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I felt like John Jones was next
Yeah, I mean, that was
as far
pretty,
as popularity.
pretty fair, I'd say. Our players are very, I feel like, I mean, just big three sports. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. What was your last one?
It was, who was it? Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was. Who was your last one? Out of curiosity.
Matt Stafford.
Oh, that would have been fun. Dang.
Would have been a good round. All right, let's get into really what you've been up to, Dustin. Since we last talked on the pod, a successful baseball season. You guys win a WAC regular season title. You go on to the NCAA tournament, make history for the school, winning multiple games in Tucson Regional and get into the Tucson Regional championship or final, whatever it may be called. I got to be there for that whole run, and man, it was just fun to see you guys come together and knock off some teams that you weren't supposed to beat. So that was kind of the start of your summer. Then you move, once the season comes to an end, pro ball is the next big thing, and you end up getting to be a part of the Seattle Mariners organization.
Crazy.
Yeah, pretty perfect for me, pretty
Yeah.
awesome, and
Shout out Mariners.
Yeah.
go Lambs, and now you get to continue your dream of playing baseball. under their organization, which has kept you here in Arizona, kept you in Peoria, and as we're kind of to this current moment, and we're just talking baseball right now, you're going to be moving into spring training here in the next month or so. So from a baseball side of things, I'd love to just hear how the last year has been, and then we'll talk about your faith walk as well.
Oh, man. Start with the GCU season?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It was a good one, to say the least. It's kind of crazy. You never know where the course of a season's going to go. Obviously, it gets kind of crazy along the way. You kind of try to get a feel for the team. Obviously, going in last year, we knew we had a lot of good senior leadership. We had a deep team, a lot of talent. Per usual, GCU always seems to have a ton of great talent. But, yeah, the end of the year was really kind of a crazy one for us. Like, we didn't really have the, highest of expectations going in, especially with losing in the WAC championship and not being able to get the tournament title in the auto bid, which is kind of crazy. But then obviously there's a little situation that allowed us to get the auto bid, so that was great. But, it was just a crazy ending, but it was fun. We always kind of strive for that moment to get to the big spots and play the big teams, but I think the GCU baseball culture has always kind of thrived on that, like playing in the big game, beating the big team, and it was just kind of like second nature, just like another midweek. But it was really cool to kind of have that run, and then obviously coming up to West Virginia and losing to them twice was like a really tough pill to swallow. But man, it was a really fun season and fun career for sure.
Totally. I think of the Dallas Baptist win, and I can still picture the picture of you tossing the ball to first base for the last out. Can you kind of just talk through how you felt you played, and also the bats really came alive? I know we're about half a year removed from that at this point, but the bats just absolutely came to life in that regional.
Yeah,
you guys were hitting it better than anybody else.
Yeah, that was a crazy one for sure, man. You don't want to say you really kind of looked down the road, but the first couple innings we almost thought we might be done in this one. They put up a big number in the first couple innings, but man, we're a resilient group, and that's how the Lopes always are. But yeah, it just reminded me of a midweek game. Like, you never really know what's going to happen, but man, thankfully we kind of scrapped back and were able to win that one. But yeah, kind of a crazy story along the lines of that whole regional weekend. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling too hot. Actually, there's a stomach bug going around kind of during that brief kind of moment in time. It actually kind of spanned a few months for our whole team, but I was actually throwing up pretty bad between that whole kind of 3-day span, which was like really tough on me, tough on my body. And then obviously playing day game, and then we had to play that later that night in the regional final versus West Virginia. But yeah, it was a crazy kind of, 48 hours of events for me, because I really wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to play that game, to be honest. But it was just kind of cool how, obviously Wally ripped me in the lineup, but I finally mustered up enough strength and kind of, courage to get on my feet and get out of the trash can, basically throwing up basically all day and night leading up to that game. But man, it was cool to be able to come through for the team, and it was a fun one I'll never forget for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Looking ahead now, being like in professional ball, like that's just crazy to me. Did you ever, could you have imagined being a freshman, sophomore? Like, is this something that you had always kind of envisioned yourself doing, or is this just mind blown, being here today?
Yeah, it's a good question for sure. I'd be lying if I didn't say that it was always kind of on my mind. It's kind of been my dream ever since,
for sure.
You're a little kid, if that makes sense. But
100%.
I think as you kind of start taking the steps in college, and especially for me in my college career, that reality kind of went away for a long time. And I didn't really think it was possible, honestly. But obviously, through the grace of God, he obviously kind of gave me that opportunity and allowed me to keep playing. And, it's really hard. It's really hard to kind of get a spot on any professional roster, obviously, with roster sizes collapsing. So that was kind of a big thing that I also took into account and kind of was aware of. But man, God really gave me the opportunity, and thankfully he allowed me to keep playing ball, because I always kind of had the want, and it was really on my heart for the longest time to want to continue playing baseball, but just glad that it shaped out this way after this season for sure.
So could you explain to our viewers what spring training will look like for you? You'll be in Peoria. It's my understanding. At the same time that the big leaguers will be there. Probably won't be playing in the big league spring training games, but you're going to be at the facility. You're going to be scrimmaging. You're going to be playing games against guys that are very talented, especially within that organization.
Yeah.
What are those couple of months going to look like for you, and then what is it going to lead to, if you had to guess? Because you don't know exactly what it's going to lead to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, once again, my first kind of inkling with playing professional baseball, obviously. I had a brother. His name's Wyatt. Shout out to Wyatt. He played professional with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So thankfully that was kind of a good experience, having to watch him and then being able to kind of just root him on, ask him questions about the whole experience there. But honestly, not too sure. I'm very, very open, very ready, very excited to just be a part of something bigger than myself. And obviously being at the bottom of the totem pole is kind of where I'll be standing, but I'm just excited to fill the spot and, do whatever's called of me per usual, but very excited for it. And obviously really thankful for kind of my older brother Wyatt to kind of pave the way, and then obviously give me a lot of advice kind of leading up to February and just kind of get me ready for this season that's ahead.
Yeah. So kind of backtracking real quick, did you know, like, when you played your last GCU game, what was that in between like before the Mariners, after GCU baseball kind of came to a close? What was your faith, life, and walk at that point? Like, and how, did you know what was in store? Did you know you were going to be a Mariners? Like, how did that all work out?
Yeah, that's a great question for sure. Yeah, to say the least, I think me and my family really had no expectation of me continuing and playing baseball past that point. But obviously, I guess my agent is my father, which happens to be a good thing. But my agent told me, hey, you should probably consider playing baseball somewhere, because he was getting a few calls from a lot of local area scouts.
Wow.
But that was kind of the initial inkling where I thought, hey, maybe I could continue to play baseball with obviously the draft being in July. And then, my dad found me a spot on an independent ball team in Montana, so I played with them for a couple weeks leading up to the draft. But, props to my agent, my dad. He's
shout out.
He was kind of the one that really, gave me hope again and made me realize, like, hey, I guess I could continue to play, actually. But, it was really kind of the bright spot of my summer, being able to kind of, light that spark in me and have a little bit of hope and realize, hey, I might have a shot to be able to maybe be picked and then keep playing baseball. So, yeah.
Pretty awesome. And in the small number of games that you got to play in Peoria, right?
Yeah.
What was the if there was one thing that you're like, wow, that the level of play at this area was different, what would that be? Was it the pitching speed? Was it just the speed of the game? Was it the fundamentals? Anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, that's a very commonly asked question for sure. It's kind of funny. I like to explain it to the kids, like the jump from...
Am I one of the kids? Or?
Oh, no. I train with a lot of...
I'm kidding.
Younger kids, by the way, for all the viewers at my house, a lot of 8th graders, and then I part-time coach at Paradise Valley Christian
didn't know that.
Prep.
Hey,
That's
for
cool.
everyone
That's cool.
who didn't know that, yeah. I stopped by there. I have a good friend from FCA. His name's Casey Thorpe, but I coach with them, and I get that question a lot, but I describe it as the jump from, 8th grade or youth ball to high school. The velocity is a lot faster. The skills improve. And then high school to college, obviously the velocity is a lot faster. But then I would say it's kind of funny because you look back and you can't help but say it's the same. It's one step up, obviously, in a level of play, but the velocity is once again a lot faster. But I think as you sort of kind of rise up in that skill level between single A, double A, triple A, and majors, like it's just that pitchability is a baseball term that people use, or basically the skill factor is a lot higher, because when you kind of get into college, wow, everyone throws hard, everyone's stronger, everyone has a lot of skill, but then it's like, wait, who has the most refined skill and who has the most, I guess, unique tools that can maybe help them hit the ball precisely or throw the pitch perfectly is the best way I can describe it. But
that's a cool way of putting it.
Yeah, a lot of velocity in the single A level for sure.
Oh man, I can't imagine. Have you, what have you been working on in this off season to combat that? Put yourself in a position to be at that level, because it is a jump. There's no doubt about it.
For sure. Yeah, it's always an adjustment when you take a step up, or it always seems like a perceived threat that you really have to reinvent your whole self or improve in so many areas. But for the most part, I'm just trying to focus on what I do best and try to really focus on refining my skills.
Yep.
Because obviously I know compared to my teammates, I am by far not the strongest, by far not the fastest, but I think God's placed me in that position for a reason, and I think it's cool to just watch other athletes like our Brock Purdy segment. Like he's been an inspiring guy.
Yeah,
'cause,
absolutely.
Following him for the longest time, like he's a guy that's not the strongest, not the fastest, but obviously he's focusing on his strengths. He's not reinventing his game. But back to me, I think that's kind of the same kind of mindset and approach that I want to take. I'm not trying to be anybody different. I understand I'm up against kind of a bigger opponent than before, a lot better pitchers. Obviously the best pitchers in the world play professional American baseball, but yeah, I'm just trying to be me and not be anybody else and just really focus on what I do best and play small ball and play good defense and make contact. But that's kind of just who I am as a player. But
You've mentioned to me that you've been doing some ghetto training.
oh yeah,
What does that even mean? Can you
Okay.
unpack that?
So for anyone who's watching, that ghetto training basically looks like me and my brother in our backyard cage, which is about the size of this room, and he's just basically chucking balls as hard as he can from like a 25-foot distance, and that's the kind of ghetto training that I've been up to lately. Just a little backyard baseball with my brother. Nothing new.
Is that just more fun, or is that like actually like? Do you feel like that's helping anything?
Yeah, I think it's really fun for sure until he kind of gets one close or tries to bake
It's
my
like,
bat.
hey.
But that's kind of that's the fun training that I've been up to lately. And that's the chemistry of me and my brothers, man. We like to have fun and get after it, and then obviously never take it easy on each other and challenge each other to be better for sure.
And I know you've told me you've really valued this time you've gone at home with your brother, because this may be a time you guys will never get back. And so although you're probably benefiting from athletic sense, also from like a brotherly sense as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to my two brothers, Wasey and Wyatt, two older brothers. Yeah, they both played baseball, inspired me to do everything that I do. But yeah, obviously with both of them being home, like I can still draw so many, positive experiences and positive, learning moments from them currently, because my oldest brother, Wasey, I didn't share this earlier, but he's a strength and conditioning coach in minor league baseball. And then my other brother played minor league baseball, so they have so much knowledge. And then obviously my dad has been in baseball as well, so like we're just a little baseball family, and man, it's just been cool to be surrounded by them and just continue to strengthen our bonds together because of the game of baseball. It's really been kind of an answered prayer for me, because that's always been our bond since I've been 1 year old. Man, we bond over the game, but it's just really been a cool thing that God has had his providence over and really just allowed me to continue to chase this dream of playing big league baseball, and then obviously grow and develop my friendships and family relationships more so than anything.
That's awesome, man. Well, we'll be rooting for you. If you're here in Arizona, stop by the facility. See if you catch Dustin playing in the back fields.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'll be out there and I'll be looking for you. So keep it up. Stay confident, and yeah, you deserve to be there. So go do your thing, and yeah, I love how you said just being yourself and just refining those skills. I think that's the right answer. It's the only way you can do it. You can't reinvent the wheel right now at this point. You got here for a reason. So keep doing what you're doing. Last year, I'd love to talk about your faith walk as well.
Yeah, for sure.
You've had the opportunity to lead in a lot of ways. You've been involved heavily with FCA. What does that last year look like? Say post baseball, post GCU. What does that look like?
Man, it's really everything. I think David asked the question earlier, and I forgot to hit on it. But yeah, faith entering kind of the last days of my season, and obviously leading up to today, like really, the Lord has had such a grab on my life, and really, I was talking with a friend earlier about it, but man, I've been so grounded in the Lord. Like no matter what really comes, I'm never gonna let go. And there's a ton of scriptures where David talks about grabbing onto the Lord and clinging on to him through everything. And I mean, that's kind of just been the story of my life here, rounding out my career at GCU for sure. I just grab onto the Lord and know that I'm nothing without him, truly. So I think that's just been my mindset for the longest time, is just clinging onto him and then realizing that I can really do nothing or be nothing apart from him. But yeah, that's kind of just always been my mindset with the Lord looking out for me, and he's just been so gracious and, bringing me close and just helping me when I stumble. And then obviously there's a lot of moments as a player and as a person in so many different cases, especially with my new job at FCA. Like, I feel like I'm not equipped. I feel like I'm up against a tall task, but man, the Lord comes and he just, he'll meet you where you're at and he'll fill that gap every time. But man, it's kind of crazy to see how he's really supplemented me in so many ways. And kind of the biggest one that I'm looking back on is that regional, where I was really just like, man, talk about being physically depleted out there. But man, I ended up playing pretty well at that one. But yeah, I was just thankful that, I was able to be on the field and then help the team for sure.
Can you unpack FCA? Like what's the specific job you're doing and how did it come about? How did it fall in place?
Yeah, so my mentor, Kelly Schmidt, she works for GCU, and she asked me to join FCA on a part-time role, being basically an ambassador is what it's called. It's just, you volunteer your time and you're basically allotted as much time as I'm free with to, go and visit the GCU huddle and then obviously help out with local high school FCAs and just visit with the kids, talk to them, and kind of just meet the needs of each and every huddle around the Valley, which has really been like the blessing of my life truly lately, is just to like talk to and minister to kids who maybe don't have a faith or are curious about a faith, and then just a lot of kids ask me questions about my faith, and I'm just really been so glad to tell them, who Jesus is and kind of the story of my life and how he's really kind of came in, lifted me up, filled that gap, obviously here at GCU for sure, but then obviously like Jesus is there for them too. So that's kind of been the highlight of my off season for sure, working for FCA and kind of doing a lot of good ministry work at the local high schools in GCU.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And like, I think kind of going back to a little bit, that gap in between, it's so cool how the Lord works and like just the uncertainty. You know what I mean? Like, if everything was certain, then where would the faith be? You know what I mean? Like, that's really what's coming to my heart right now. It's like, because I think we all in this past year have had moments of pretty big uncertainty of like, what's next after school? What's next after season? What's, like, and it's amazing to see like how I don't think any of us would have necessarily like handpicked this and been like, this is exactly what was going to happen. But like, with the faith and just the trust in the Lord, like we were able to surrender that, and like it's just been amazing, like what he's done. And like, even though there's obstacles and there's bumps and there's challenges, like I think the perspective is just such the important thing that I'm learning right now is like, like as long as my like the rock Jesus is, like, I'm clinging to him and holding on to that foundation, like really the outside waves, storms, whatever they may be, circumstances, like they can be used for me and not against me. You know what I mean? Like that's it's crazy. So like any season of life can be looked at as an opportunity,
for sure.
And the Lord allowed it for a reason, right?
Amen. Yeah.
And so I just think that's so cool that you filled that time, got into FCA really, and started pouring into others during a time where like you didn't even know what was going to be next, and
1,000%.
For sure. Like I think that's so awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
What you cooking up here? Man,
I was just saying, like, I had to share my life verse from the last year. It's a Philippians 4:6, and it said, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done, and then you'll experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand, and his peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus." But yeah, that was kind of really my rally cry. That and Matthew 6:34 says basically focus on today, not tomorrow.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Yep.
But those two verses were really kind of my rock during the whole season last year, and man, they really carried me through. Like, kind of like I shared earlier, I felt really unequipped in so many moments during the season, and I feel like as humans a lot, I feel like everyone kind of wrestles with that for sure. But I was really being attacked in that way last year, and really feeling unequipped, and even leading up to today, it's like, hey, sometimes I feel unequipped, but man, I think God kind of comes in almost every time I ask him to come in. He helps bridge that gap, which is a really cool thing. But Philippians 4:6 really carried me through that, because man, I tend to worry a lot, especially entering big events. But man, God really kind of helped me fix that problem with this verse for sure.
Good for you, man. I mean, I think the cool thing is God does come through every time you ask him to. But also, as unequipped as you may feel in any moment, you always have your testimony. And I think it's pretty cool that not only the testimony that God has written in your life and is continuing to write, but he's put you in positions to tell that testimony. And I know he's also putting you in positions to tell it to people that are going to be in similar positions that you are in. Right. These student athletes, these athletes that are looking up to you, seeing where you're at now and not even understanding the real big picture behind the motor that you have right now. It's because God is working in the behind the scenes, and he's been writing this story your whole life. So it's cool that all you really have to do is tell these people about the good news that is Jesus Christ, and how he's been working in your life this whole time. And I'm just glad that the athletes in this area have you to go to them and explain that to them, because usually in high school they're just thinking about the sport, and to be able to hear the other side and the understanding that there's just a lot more to baseball or to whatever sport they may be playing is huge. So props to you for doing that, and I know I've got to imagine it's super fulfilling as well.
Thanks,
to know that you're just speaking on God's word, and you're throwing that into the mix, at least, getting it on their minds. Keep it going. Keep it going.
And before you go, I just want to bounce off all that. I can speak witness to how the Lord's using you right now. Although you may feel unequipped and unprepared, don't we all?
For sure.
God doesn't use people who are equipped, who already have it all put together. Look throughout all Scripture and all of our lives, we've never had it all together. We've never had it all perfect and knew how it was all going to run its course. But that's the beauty of it, because that's where your faith is tested and grown. And I've seen the way that you've poured into the people at FCA, loving them and meeting them where they're at, and being bold about your faith and your story, and also with the men's study, sharpening one another, building each other up. And it's been cool, even small things like this, challenging one another to memorize Psalm 34, different things. It's been cool, and I can speak witness to how the Lord's using you.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, don't test me on that Psalm 34 yet. But
I think I'm ahead of him, actually.
We did that pre episode. We did the Bulba test.
Hey, doing well though.
Hey,
you guys are doing well.
Yeah.
And shout out. That's respect. If and when you guys have that completely memorized, that's awesome.
Yeah. On its way.
Going for it. But thanks a ton for having me. Obviously, the Lord's good, and he's good always. But I love that heart. He definitely does call the unequipped. But, man, it's just cool. It's cool to reflect and kind of look back, and I see that reflection so often, just looking at high school kids and looking at college kids. Like, our goals are our goals. We want to accomplish things. We want to be great at baseball. We want to be looked at with high esteem, and I think that's been the biggest thing for me growing up, really, until really Jesus kind of grabbed a hold of my heart and flipped everything 360, and then I realized, man, his glory is really above all that. So I think that's kind of the most exciting thing that I could be doing right now, and that's really been the highlight of my past year, just pointing people to Jesus rather than pointing to myself by any means.
Yeah,
for sure. Go ahead. Just like going back to this kind of unequipped thing, like I think about just even our viewers, right? Like maybe you're a new believer and are feel the urge and the stirring in your heart to speak up and be vulnerable, whatever that may be. Like you don't have to have it all together. And the cool thing is like you can come as you are, but God won't leave you the way that you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the cool thing.
Sure.
That's kind of this twist that I think, we can all mix up at times, right? It's like we have to fix ourselves before coming to God. But the reality is we come as we are, and God does the fixing, Right, And so it's like, we don't have to be anybody else. God knows like who you are in this season right now. And I believe he's, given you the stirring in your heart for a reason.
Amen.
To do something special and to partner with him. Like,
Amen.
It's crazy to think about. Like, we have that opportunity every day that we have breath and every moment, to partner with the creator of the universe. And man, it's easier said than done. But the thing is it just takes faith and trust. And every day, the more we continue to read his word and continue to surround ourselves with godly community, pour into others, like we just see God work, and it's just been amazing. And I just want to speak to anybody who maybe is either on the fence on this whole thing, maybe is just getting started in their faith and wondering kind of what the next steps are. Like, don't be afraid. Like, where does fear come from? It doesn't come from God, because he's conquered everything to be afraid of. He's conquered death. He's conquered it all. So, like, we can be more than conquerors.
Amen.
I love that. And I think the heart posture to have is just, Lord, use me, because he is all capable. Just going off everything you're saying, he is all capable. He can use anyone for anything. And so if you come to him with honesty, with humility, I mean, there's nothing he can't do. He'll work a miracle in your heart like he has in all of us and is continuing to do each and every day. And nothing's impossible for the Lord.
Amen.
And I think, like, really meditating on that, because he's done it time and time again, generation after generation. He's good.
Amen on that.
And I think the testimony is so much more, it's even crazier for people to see that crazy transformation that you had. And I hope if any of you viewers haven't seen the first episode with Dustin, he kind of dives more into his testimony and the change that God put on his heart. And imagine the people that knew you before God and the people that know you after, like, they're going to see a completely different person. I think about after the national championship, Riley Leonard, the coach or the quarterback for Notre Dame, he mentioned how he doesn't even recognize himself, the past Riley Leonard before Notre Dame, and that was just less than a year. And because a big part of that was because of the faith walk that he went on at Notre Dame with his teammates, which is just super cool. But yeah, I mean, nice. if you can get to a point where you don't even recognize who you were at one point, imagine what the people that are and were in your life are thinking when they see you out there doing that. And that goes for everybody. It's going to make a huge impact on those people's lives, whether you get to speak to them personally or not. They're just going to see there's something different about him now, which is pretty cool.
That's great. Yeah, there's an awesome verse. I mean, obviously Matthew 6:34. The gist of the verse is basically not worrying about tomorrow or yesterday. But for me, I think that verse really helped me focus on taking one step. And I think, obviously, the moment I gave my life to the Lord, the moments after that didn't look too pretty. Most people probably couldn't tell that Jesus was the Lord and Savior of my life at that moment. But, man, I think through the rocky times, through the ups, the downs, the incredible doubt, man, like I said at the beginning, I just decided to cling to the Lord. But, man, there's so many times where there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of shame and guilt in what I've done. But for the most part, the Lord really just invites us all in to just take one step. And I feel like for the most part that carried me a lot last year for sure, because there's a lot of stress. And obviously, like, OMG, what am I going to do my next game, or what happened yesterday? Is that going to affect me in a bad way? But, man, I really was just meditating on Matthew 6, one of my favorite chapters in the entire Bible. But, man, 34 really just speaks to taking that one step, and that really just helped guide me to this day, honestly. But through that entire season last year of just, man, I can't do anything about tomorrow. Really, the only thing I can do is just focus on now and focus on this next day, this next step for sure.
And that speaks to the long term over the short term. I mean, that's just one of the biggest battles we face as Christians, is not taking the short term pleasure, not taking the easy path necessarily, and just understanding that the daily disciplines, the daily walk, the daily just giving it all to Christ is just so important, because over time it's just going to be so fruitful. Amen. And then you can look back and you're like, holy moly, like, look where God was working, you know. So that's a great verse to live after, man. For sure.
Yeah, and you're never going to be perfect, so free yourself from that burden that you're not supposed to carry that, right? If you were, then what would be the point of the cross, you know? Amen. So, like, you're not going to be, like, when you come to Christ, you come as you are, but you're not going to be the same person at the end of your life, but you're also not going to be this perfect person either, right? Like, show yourself grace. God has already made room for that on the cross, I promise. So to everybody watching, like, trust that Jesus died for everything. Like, he died for you, and, like, there's no need to allow the enemy to really voice in and try to disqualify you from something that you don't even have to be qualified to do. Like, if you have the Lord, that's the qualification you need, and he's put that blessing on your life.
Amen.
Like, what can stop that, you know? So just hold on to that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much for the updates. Thanks for coming on, chopping it up with us. You're inspiring, encouraging, all of the above. And I hope I hope and know our viewers are going to take a lot out of just the words and the verses that you brought to the table today. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being the friend you are to us, and keep killing it, man. in all walks of life.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure to be on. Yeah, you guys are very inspiring to me. The friendships that we've grown over the past year has really touched me, and I'm just thankful for you guys and thankful that you guys had me on, and keep doing good work on this podcast for sure.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 42 of the Super Bowl podcast. 2 words to close this one out, I think, and it's Go Mariners.